Hey everyone, Internet TCS book reader here. Today I want to talk about Sakamoto Days by Yuto Suzuki. But let's talk about why I titled the video like that first, in case if this is the first time people finding out about it or if they somehow skip a few pages from his memoirs where he admit to all of this. Yes, Jackie Chan is a bad father and a bad husband. In 2006, he got drunk in public and disrupt his friend's concert by going up on stage and make a fool out of himself. But when his son that he abused to the point of throwing him when he was just 2 years old got into a drug case in 2014, he fully threw him under the bus because he's been chosen as an anti-drug ambassador. There's a reason why Hong Kong people don't like him. If you think that's not bad enough, in 1999, he cheated on his wife with a much younger Elaine Ang who eventually got pregnant because of him. And not only the guy doesn't have the moral backbone to not cheat on his wife, he also had none to take responsibility for his first child. The doctor grew up having never seen his famous father and never receiving a single cent from him. And there's nothing the mother-daughter duo can do since Jackie Chan is one of the most worshipped celebrity in the world. I guess there's a good reason why Michelle Yeoh called him a pig. What's that got to do with the manga? Almost nothing, besides that the main character Sakamoto is using random ordinary items to fight just like Jackie Chan action choreography like with the stare. I just saw the most blatant attempt at public perception manipulation from Jackie Chan with the help of another paid actor who is not his daughter by the way, trying to make an emotional scene of them being a happy father-daughter duo and wanted to run for a bit. But don't let my long run make you think that this series is not a good series. Among all of the current Shonen Jump action series, this might just have some of the best action scene, period. A lot of it is so goddamn cinematic. The story itself is about one of the assassins in the world of Sakamoto Days, Sakamoto from the title himself. He is considered to be the best assassin in the industry, but one fateful day on a 7-Eleven market, he fell in love to Aoi, who is one of the most normal non-assassins in this series. Sakamoto made a quick decision to retire from assassination so he can marry her and they had a daughter together, thus the title of this video. He opened a general goods store in the neighbor with his wife and got out of shape after a while. The retired assassin trope is not exactly new. Jesus is a classic manga from 1992 about an assassin who is forced to live as a teacher. Then there's Barry, a hitman that fell in love with acting. And Sakamoto is a new entry to this niche genre. But in Sakamoto Days, we are immediately introduced to Shin, an assassin who look up to Sakamoto and more importantly, is a clairvoyant who can read minds, telling us that the world of Sakamoto Days had people with supernatural power that are not just guns and knives. I don't think I need to give you all any explanation on superpower trope. I don't think most people are so oblivious to think that ninja means a reference to Naruto or supernatural powers mean a reference to Jujutsu Kaisen. Shin is trying to recruit Sakamoto back to the assassin business, but he refused. And Shin is not just recruiting him because he wanted to work with him again, it's also because the group don't actually just allow people to live as they wish. Once you're in forever, and the only way out is death. So they're sending assassin to kill Sakamoto, a job that Shin took. Shin shoots at Sakamoto while he's working, which he deflected with a cough drop. Yes, a cough drop. Don't think about it that hard. Later on he'll deflect bullet with his glasses, with his bare hand, and with a chopstick. He then continues to shoot at Shin with the rest of the candies before he took him down with a kick. Shin later woke up at Sakamoto's family house, experienced the joy of everyday normal life, and decided to give up on killing Sakamoto. He fought against the other assassins that were prepared to kill Sakamoto alone, but Sakamoto is listening, and just because he's retired doesn't mean that he's not prepared. He took out a taser gun and went to help Shin. This is when we started seeing how good the choreography of the fights are in this manga. If deflecting bullets with cough drop are not good enough, in a page Sakamoto punched a guy and he dismantled his gun while at it. Does that make sense? Who cares? It looks cool. He finished the fight with a knife to a gunfight, slicing another gun and all the rest of the assassin while at it. He then recruited Shin as a cashier to work in his shop, which the family accepted readily, because that's how it goes with this series. You roll with the punches. If there's any one rule to the Sakamoto, it's the rule of cool. As long as it doesn't make the fight lame, it goes. Besides that, there are other Sakamoto family rules like Sakamoto must not kill. If he kill, he'll get divorced. Even Shin accepted how he got to work with Sakamoto again as a store clerk and accepted the family rule of no killing. The next week, Sakamoto's wife got into a bus hijacking that is very much from the Speed movie, but this time the hijacker has understandably taken the bus for the future of the manga world. Here we see some more of how the fights can go in this manga. Sakamoto can jump from building to building like nobody's business, and he can stop a bus at full speed with stop sign. No, not because the bus needs to obey traffic law, but because he used the stop sign to stop the bus physically. Also, Sakamoto will grow slim if he did enough physical activity. We notice from the chapter introducing us to the pacifist cop Ayase that only has screen time on this chapter. Most of the early chapters are mostly introducing us to more characters like this, while giving us more information about Sakamoto days. Hey, title drop. Later on, we are introduced to more characters like Lu, and in her introduction, we are still facing goons that are not that much of a threat even to Shin, never mind Sakamoto. He can easily take care of them with a boiling pot, a frying pan, and a refrigerator, before Lu also joins the Sakamoto family. But since this is a manga, of course the threat has to escalate at some point. The store one day suddenly had another Sakamoto. It's his evil twin. No, I'm just kidding. It's his friend from back in Assassinating Days Nagumo who is really good at disguise. This is also the first time we are shown people who can fool Shin's mind reading ability. But worse than that, there is a bounty placed on Sakamoto desk for $1 billion. Sakamoto tried to warn the people who are currently after him with this sick panel where he shot at a camera recording his store, but he had a promise to go to the amusement park the next day with his daughter, and Sakamoto is no coward, unlike the guy we discussed at the start of the video. So of course he has to go with the whole family to the park. You want a cool fight scene? Baki already showed us how fun a fight can be in a roller coaster, and Shin had a chance for his first solo fight here, which he won with Sakamoto's guidance. And then there's a fight with Lu and Sakamoto who, unfortunately for Lu, her drunken fist wife is overwhelmed by the fight between Hardboiled who is using rocket punch and Sakamoto who had to turn slim to fight more seriously. A fight that starts in a haunted house and ends in a Ferris wheel. Eventually, Aoi found out that there is a bounty for Sakamoto, but she trusts in Sakamoto to take care of it, which he will by tracking and cutting the source of the bounty. And from here, the world unfolds further into the world of the assassin. They had a place for information in the form of movies in a video rental. I guess streaming service doesn't exist yet here, but it makes me wonder if the guy who is movie maniac is the person who is shooting these movies. There's also the Order who are the highest ranked organization of assassin like the High Table in John Wick, a group that Sakamoto used to belong to. Then there's also an unknown new group called Egg or Slur who have been randomly killing every other assassin group. And this random act of killing happens at around the same time that Sakamoto's bounty was up, which seems to connect the two incidents together that the group will have to solve also together. And as expected of Shonen Jump, the character variety is one of the best. They have a guy who can ricochet his sniper bullet like his Ryo Saiba. There's a guy who can cloak himself invisible like his Grey Fog from Metal Gear Solid. There's Queen Osaragi with her chainsaw blade, who I think is a little bit from Lollipop Chainsaw despite the very different vibe. Later on, they will also have a character who can use magnetic power like this Magneto. But what makes this manga one of the best, if not the best action manga currently, is not the characters and all their superpower, but the choreography that the fights often have. The author said since the first book that he loved action movies, and you can tell. They didn't just fight against robot bear with AK or dinosaur who can do kung fu. The best fights are often with other people who they can exchange moves in quick succession. And the fight is often so dynamic it moves from one place to another naturally. And it only got better the more the story goes on, along with how good the art becomes. You got thrown into another train that is going to a different direction. What you do is of course you run through the entire train so you can jump back into the train you were coming from to finish the beat up. Remember that one fight from the One Good Pacific Rim movie? When Gypsy Danger was punching a kaiju and we see it from the perspective of one of the building, we got those here when the characters are fighting on a miniature set, making the fight scene so intense it is absurdly good. And this kind of big fight scene is everywhere in the story. During Sakamoto fight with the old man Takamura, who is the strongest old man in the manga, there's so much back and forth between the two of them and the paneling here is brilliant. Sakamoto stopped the katana from being unsheathed and the old man throws the hilt back. When he tried to cut Sakamoto, he also cut through all the milk which Sakamoto drinks a little to get some stamina back before he starts attacking the sword to damage it. But using Sakamoto bullet, the old man sharpened his own katana. It is only after ganging up on the old man that they managed to tie one of his arms down. Now, remember the samurai trope about a samurai that is so quick and precise at cutting, that the object that is often a vegetable or an apple forgot that they have been cut and you can place them back together? Forget apples. The old man got his arm cut and he cut his own arm and placed it back together before just going sicko mode and started cutting everyone down. You cannot get more badass than that. Part of what makes these over-the-top fights possible is all the people living in Sakamoto world are worse than NPCs. I swear NPCs in video games have more reaction than them. These mobs are paid actors in action movies who are not supposed to react to anything for the most part. They just need to keep dancing and keep walking and have the least amount of reaction so they don't distract the viewers from the ongoing action. It's always silly and it's always self-aware that they're not reacting normally, so it helps us the reader just roll with the punch since we know what we're here for. On a side story where Sakamoto is trying to buy a backpack for his daughter, a story that is of course inspired by the greatest Christmas movie of all time, Jingle All the Way, some random grannies took scene down for getting in their way. But other than that, the mobs are some of the most chill extras you'll find in any media. This manga doesn't care much about the logic outside of its own story, as long as action scenes don't become weightless like it's some bad Terminator movie. And by doing so, it manages to push the rule of cool to the absolute limit. Mangas like Dan might have bigger spectacles on its spread, but if you want pure hype choreographed fight like classic action movies but in an anime form, I don't think you can find a better one than this. I give this a 4. What do you think? Let me know if I miss anything, so leave your thoughts in the comment below and subscribe to the channel. That's about it. See ya.